Everybody. So this week for my yoga video, I'm going to do something a little different that was inspired by a patient need. And so that's what's kind of fun about this relationship we have. If ever there's something specific you guys would like to learn more about, any specific symptom, ailment that you would like some yoga remedy for, shoot me an email. Feel free to reply, and you might just get a personalized little flow. So, this particular patient was interested in not really yoga necessarily, but was having a lot of stomach discomfort, gas, bloating, fun things like that happen when we start to change our diet and perhaps eat more vegetables, more fiber, more protein. Sometimes there's a ripple effect. And so I offered to share some yoga poses that can be really helpful for gas, bloating, indigestion. And since I was recording to send these to her, I figured I might as well send them to you guys too. So this isn't necessarily a flow. These are just poses you can do at any time if you're experiencing that discomfort. And of course, there's many other benefits to these shapes as well. So the first one, if you've done my classes, you have surely done before, which is cats and cows. So if you're going to do a cat cow, you're going to get on your mat. I have a blanket here in front of me. I don't know if you can see because my knees get sensitive on the floor. And so I like to put this blanket under my knees. Yeah. And then we're going to take what we call tabletop shape. So knees are under hips. Our palms are under our shoulders. And what we're going to do is move with our breath. And we're going to move back and forth between two shapes. One is called cow. Okay, so cow is on the in-breath. We drop our belly, lift our chin, relax the shoulders away from our ears, lift through the tailbone even. So we're dropping down through the belly. That's cow pose. Okay, so that's the inhale. And then cat pose is the opposite. So in cat pose, we're making our back look like a Halloween cat is the best way to describe it, like a scared cat. We're rounding through our spine. So we press into our palms, we suck up and in through our belly, we round through our spine, puffing up between the shoulder blades. And then we move back and forth just to our own breath rhythm. So it looks like an inhale into cow, exhale into cat. Inhale cow, exhale cat, and so on and so forth. It sometimes feels nice to make some circles with the hips too. So almost like drawing a circle with your tailbone, and you can take it both directions. And you can't really get this wrong. It might look weird, but it feels pretty good for the spine most of the time. So alternative to that, if kneeling doesn't work for you and it's just too uncomfortable on the knees, we can do seated cats and cows as well. And so for that, it's a similar movement, but we're going to sit up nice and tall and grab onto the knees. And we're going to continue, do the same arching and rounding with the spine. So an inhale to lift the chin, arch the back. And an exhale to almost press into the knees to round ourselves back. We're shifting the weight back on the sit bones, tilting the pelvis. Yeah, and we can move through the same way. So we can inhale, lift the chin, lift the chest, arch the back. Exhale to tuck and round. And again, your breath sets the pace. So you can just move at your own rhythm, following the inhale and exhale. And then if you wanted to take those circles seated, it might look more like this. So it might be more of like a rib cage shift. One way, kind of shifting weight forward again, and then circling the rib cage back. And then you can take it both directions. And when I do this, I like to get weird. I like to let my upper body be really heavy and loose like a rag doll and kind of roll around through the neck and close my eyes and feel my breath. And I swear to you, it feels so good. And the good news is you're doing it at home, so no one will even see you. So that is one move, cats and cows. So the next move, we are going to stand up. So I'm going to slide my blanket out of the way and make sure you can see me still. All right, so I realize my head is cut off, but that's not important. What's important is the feet. So we're gonna take just a wide-legged forward fold. Very simple, that's what we call it. So we'll have toes facing forward, legs stepping out comfortably wide. So I can scooch a little bit more, and you can feel this out for yourself. We definitely want to make sure we feel strong and steady in the feet. You can kind of press into the outer edges of those feet. So we don't want to feel like our feet are going to slip out from under us and we're going to do the splits. That's not fun. So yes, strong grip through the feet. And all we're going to do is start to pour our upper body down towards the floor. So yeah, just like a toe touch basically. And when you get there, I like to, again, relax my neck and head. Maybe shake them a little, yes and no, side to side. And just breathe. Really just take some deep breaths here. Allow gravity to take over. Letting the stacking of your bones hold you up, right? We don't need to work our muscles super hard generally. We can just kind of, again, ragdoll. So spending some time here, maybe even a minute or so, can be super helpful. So that's pose number 2. Very similar to this one is just a straight up forward fold. So all I'm gonna do to show you this is walk my feet in together, and you can start out with feet together too, just standing. I like feet under hips, so not necessarily touching together, but a little bit wider for a more supportive base, right? And then we're just gonna reach forward. So a toe touch, really, that's all this is. And fun fact, this pose in Sanskrit, which is the ancient language of yoga that no one speaks anymore, is translated to wind releasing pose. So I'll just let you use your imagination with that means. But I did say that this is helpful for gas, so there you go. But anyway, all we're doing is, again, pressing into the feet, keeping the knees just softly bent. We don't want to lock our knees out too much. And then hinging from the hips, and it's almost like our whole upper body can just melt like waterfall over those legs. And so here you might do some half lifts. So it will look like this if you want to try it. Your fingertips might be touching the floor, or if you cannot reach the floor and you're like nowhere near it, no worries. Your hands can be right on your shins. They can be on your hips. You can even bring like books out in front of you, or if you have a yoga block, that's awesome, but you don't need it. You can just use like a box or whatever you have around just to plant your hands. But I can reach my tippy fingertips to the floor, so that's what I'm going to do. And as I inhale, my hands even slide up, and we're working toward a flat back. So we're lifting the chest, engaging the belly, flattening out the back. And then exhale, we're going to lower down. Inhale, peek it up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale to lift, and exhale to lower. Amazing. So yes, that's the forward fold. So from here, I am going to come back down to the ground. And I'm going to invite us into a yoga squat, we call it. So what this looks like is toes out to the side, so kind of out more towards the corners of your mat, more at like a diagonal. And then from here, we're going to bend our knees and bring our heels toward our seat. So this is a really deep hip opener, as you can feel if you're doing this, or you can see. I'm going to show you a different version lying on the ground if this doesn't work for you. But if this is working for you, again, you can bring props in front of you, a block or books or fingertips to the floor. My heels are lifted up, and that's because I have tight hamstrings. So some of you might work to bring your heels to the floor. That's ideal. Mine don't go there because my hamstrings are tight. So this is good. And you can even kind of shift the weight a little side to side, fingertips out in front to support you. And if you fall, the good news is you're not falling very far. You'll just rock back onto your bum. So Yeah, and it's also a nice release for the hips. This is great to do if you're sitting a lot or driving a lot also. And then the lying down version of this is what we call happy baby. So if you have kids, if you've been around kids or babies, this is something we naturally do as human beings, and then we stop. So happy baby looks like this. This is quite the visual aid too. So you're welcome. But we lay down on the floor. Okay, so you can lay down on your mat or a towel or a blanket. And then we're gonna reach for the outside edge of one foot. And this can be cool, guys. You can stay right here. You can keep this other knee bent. And you can kind of pulse that foot in and out. Yeah, and you can switch sides. You can take it the other side, reaching for the outer edge of that foot. Working to keep shoulders relaxed towards the floor. Or some of us might try to grab both feet at the same time, and this is what babies do, and they will like rock back and forth and put their foot in their mouth and do all kinds of stuff, but we don't have to do that. Just hanging out here, although the rock back and forth does feel nice. So it's like the little self massage. Okay, so that's happy baby. If that is simply not working for you, either of those variations, something really similar is just extending one leg and drawing the other knee in. So wrapping your hands around that knee, giving it a squeeze towards your chest. Again, we always want to be focused on our breath. That is what matters most. So breathing slow and deep and steady. And it doesn't have to be forceful. It can be a relaxed breath, but we are paying attention to it. We're engaged with it. So from here, if we're squeezing the knee in, I really like it to take it into our final pose that can help with stomach upset, which is twisting. So my right knee is engaged or bent. So I'm going to draw my right knee over to the left. My left leg is long. And then my arms can just come out wide to the side. And we're going to turn our head away from our knee. So looking in the opposite direction. And you can hang out here for a super long time. Like you can stay here for as long as it feels good. But for the sake of demo, I'm gonna come out and switch sides so you guys don't have to just watch me lay here. And yes, on the other side, it would look like this. It would look like hugging in that left knee, stretching out that right leg long. And then you can take, if it's the left knee that's bent in, we'll guide that left knee over to the right. Let the left arm come out long. And then we'll turn our face to the left as well. So looking the opposite direction of that knee. And again, just doing a little scan head to toe, like softening the muscles, acknowledging that we don't really have to work right now. We can just let gravity take over and rest and relax and let this twist do its job. Cool. So those are them. Those are my poses, my best recommendations for gas, bloating, to get things going in the belly. So hopefully that's helpful to you guys. And again, if you ever have requests or specific areas of concern, feel free to let me know, and I might have some tips I can share with you and everyone else. So thank you so much, and I will see you all soon.